The high season in any business is such a big season for your income, for your traffic, just for your like overall dopamine levels, but we have to prep for it. You can't just like trip into it and then be like, oh, amazing, everything's perfect, my year is great now. For a number of reasons. Number one, it's gonna stop and then it's gonna suck when it stops. Number two, most people don't optimize for it early enough, and so then they actually miss out on the greatest potential. And since this is seasonal, it's not there constantly, like it is shifting. And so we don't want to like have a 3-month window where we can like do amazing things, but you don't start doing any of it until month 2, because most of these things take time to implement and time to take effect. So not great. But what I often see is that people will come to me and be like, okay, my high season is starting tomorrow. What do I do? And I'm like, be mad that you don't have a time machine, because you really should have been working on this 6 months earlier. So the very first thing to do is actually figure out when your high season is. And every single niche has one. I don't care if you're a Christmas site where it's more obvious, if you're a back to school site, again, more obvious, or if you're an SEO site. You could be a like general travel site about North America. There's still going to be trends when certain topics, maybe not your whole site, but definitely certain silos on your site are going to trend higher than the rest of the year. And that's just based on human nature. I used to write about Canada travel a lot. Guess when people don't want to go on nature walks in Canada in the middle of our negative 30 degrees Celsius winters? They kind of suck. I didn't even want to walk Theo in that weather, but I had to. So I get why people wouldn't want to search for that or come here for that. Definitely indoor activities would do better, but even then, traffic trends down. It's just the way it is. For SEO, definitely in the summer and especially over like Christmas break, downward trends. So we want to understand this, number one, so we can prep for it, so we can like do our income kind of generating activities when people are like ready for it, but also so that when we do have those spikes, when it's like January is always really big for any sort of entrepreneurship. People are like, I'm gonna kick this dead-end job, I fucking hate this thing, I need out. Same for like, I find people do a lot of that for some reason in September. I don't really know why, but like there's big booms for this. And I'm like, amazing. Okay, so those are times of year that I know I can count on, you can never fully count on, higher traffic or higher interest. But I have to prep for that. So now that we know whenever our high season is, which I forgot to say, you can just check in your Google Search Console, just zoom out and look at the impression trends over time. If you're a newer blogger, you can go to Google Trends for this, or use Key Search. Key Search has like a really handy little graph on the side for every keyword. Search some popular keywords in your industry, in your niche, and then see what their trend is. And then from there, start to figure out what you think it's going to be. You might not be correct. We will find out next year, but this is a good way to get started. Then once we know this, we actually want to lean into the seasonality a bit with our content. So just like creating any seasonal content where you want to make it 6 months earlier, we want to start our plan 6 months earlier. And so then we want to set a goal. Now the goal is important because otherwise you're just like, hey, I want more traffic. And it's like, okay, here's one more person. It's like that, like how genies like give you a wish, but you gotta be really careful with your wording. I think goals are the same thing. I genuinely think like, I'm not sure how much I believe in like the hippie woo-woo manifestation stuff, except that it keeps freaking working. So I think I have to believe in it. But with it, I'm like, I think you need to be super specific. I think you need to like use that. I know SMART goals are apparently out. I still think they're really cool. But like having the timeline, having the like achievable goals that you can break down and actually know that you can meet. So if you're like, okay, my high season is in July. Well, in July, I want to double my income. If my income right now is $1,000 and I want to make $2,000 a month at that point, well, we need to change some stuff. So what are we gonna change? And that's where we can start reverse engineering. And that's really like how I start figuring out my income stuff overall. And I have some affiliate and sponsored link calculators and RPM calculators for ads that can help you figure this out. She knows SEO.co/pageview-calculator, singular, has all the calculators there. Free, no email, just go hang out. I'll put the link below this video as well. But once we know our goal, then we have to figure out what we're gonna prioritize to get there. If your goal is traffic, then you need more content. If your goal is income, then you need more sales content. If your goal is consistent income after this month, then you need more email subscribers. And that's the thing that I think everyone should prioritize. So in the rest of this example, I'm really going to talk about what I would prioritize before the high season, and how I would prioritize it. So, okay, let's say July is going to be our peak month. Let's say this is a Canada travel blog and I want to double my income from $1,000 to $2,000, but I want it to stay consistent. So then what am I going to focus on? Well, first of all, I definitely need income sources. Like if I have no income sources yet, where's that money going to come from? Nowhere, because there's no way for it to flow to me. So I need to figure out, am I doing affiliates? Am I doing sponsorship? Am I doing any form of like ads? Am I doing any sort of product or service that I'm going to offer? Whatever that is, I need to work it out. So in this case, let's just stick with kind of an easy thing most people use. Let's say affiliates. Let's say I'm already doing $1,000 in affiliates. I want to double my affiliate income in this time. And then I want to keep it. Again, that's an important part of this. Well, okay, I'm gonna go look at what's already working for me. I'm gonna look at what posts I already rank for. I'm gonna look at what content gaps I have in there and what other affiliates I could add in, and I'm gonna make a content plan. How much content can I reasonably write before like the 6 months are up? And typically write within the first like 2 to 3 months. I'm gonna try to write that as soon as I can. Especially anything that's seasonal to give me a little bit more oomph for traffic. And I really want to write around content that I'm already ranking for. So like if I have things to do in Toronto, I want things to do in Toronto in summer. I want best ice cream shops in Toronto. I want best patios in Toronto. Like I want things that are related, that I can tie together very easily, and that I can internal link from the things that are already very successful. The internal linking you can kind of do whenever. It's the one thing I would say you can kind of do even if you're in the middle of a season, but you should do it beforehand so that you can get like that starting like bit of the bump up of traffic, but then you also get all the traffic at the top too. That way you're not just getting like the downfall, because that's less fun. Then the next thing I would say is you need an email opt-in. And especially if this is something where it's like your traffic goes from like 10% to 100% in this window, you need a way to capture those people. If you have a trending article, if you have anything happening that is like booming, the main suggestion I have for you is please, please, please put an email opt-in in. I want you to have it a third of the way through, 2/3 of the way through, maybe even above your conclusion, or maybe just a third above your conclusion, depending on how long the post is. I would consider a pop-up, depending on like how you feel about pop-ups. They're not the most fun. They do convert like crazy, so something to keep in mind. But we really want to make sure that we are capturing those people. So put in a really relevant freebie. If you do not have one, create one. And so this is why, again, we want to do this earlier, because if we don't have anything related to summer in Canada, maybe our other freebie is winter in Canada, that's not gonna do anything for us. So we need to make sure we have something that is dedicated to this time of year, or to this content, or just like to a really common pain point that these people would have. Like for She Knows SEO, I'm sure any time of year I could do a freebie opt-in about like a breakdown of my 150K income month of like where it came from, exactly what I did. Here were all the sources of like which post converted, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure all of you are like, Nina, make that. It's in the works. I don't know when it'll launch. Might be in 2 years because I might forget. Someone remind me when I'm back from medical leave. We'll see. It is something that's already in PPTB. But that's the Profitable Part-Time Blogger for any new people. That's my signature group coaching program. They get the full breakdown, they've already gotten it, and we go through every email even to see like how they're converting, and all the Facebook group posts. We did a lot. But with that, like that's something that would convert year round, and it's still gonna get me my ideal audience. So we're not putting something out there that's just like, sign up, and then it's not related to your email content or your content the rest of the year. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be capturing your ideal audience. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? Like genuinely get them out of there. Get rid of it. What we really want to prioritize is like keeping those, when we have that trend of search, we want to then capture those people so they stay with us. It's like putting like, I don't know, I know it's not like a great imagery, but it's kind of like finding a street dog and then bringing them home and then being like, you're mine now. I would do it. I'm gonna be honest. I would like check first that it's not someone else's dog, but I would 100% adopt all the dogs. So for me, it's like my menagerie of dogs that I'm bringing in. And with that, we want to make sure again that they are the right person. So we really want to be careful about the freebie that we're creating. And this is really like how I've been able to get She Knows SEO to get way more consistent traffic. It's how I got my travel blog to get more consistent traffic. And the main thing is more consistent income. Because even if my traffic goes up and down, for She Knows SEO, we do vary between like 30 to 60,000 page views a month. And then if I have something trending, we get closer to 100,000, depending on like when I remember to do a new post. It just depends. And I am very busy and very tired. But with that, like, that's a really good page view count. But if all of my income sources were based on ads, it wouldn't be. So that's why email's really helpful. It means that I can send affiliates all year round. It means that even when people are like busy in July and are like, look, I'm at the beach, go away, I don't want to learn about SEO right now, I'm like, cool, by the way, I'm doing a 30% off birthday sale. Do you want it? And they were all like, yes, 100% yes. It was, I think, my best selling sale to date. We had over 300, I think it was 384 or 381 people join. There was a stick, I remember, at the end. But we had a lot of people join from that sale, which is amazing. And definitely not my biggest income month ever. We had a lot of lower ticket offers in there, but a really brilliant sale for something that I put together in basically 2 weeks, and with 5 new offers in it. So that wouldn't have happened if I was waiting for people to show up to my site, because we would have had a much lower dip in people on my website. So what I really want you to do is, when you're figuring out what to prioritize content-wise, think about a way to turn that into an email list thing. Even if you're not going to send emails quite yet. I mean, I would probably at least set up a welcome sequence where like once a month it sends something, even if you're going to wait for 6 months. It's very easy to write some like very chatty beginner emails. It's so simple. But yeah, and if you are going to focus on ad revenue, that's okay. But then those emails need to send people back to your blog so that they're reading things, so that you're getting that ad revenue. So that's what I'd mainly prioritize. Then I also would just like do a pass over of your site to make sure that like it's structurally clean, it makes sense, there's nothing like glaringly incorrect on your homepage, there's nothing hideous, it's not tech bro blue in a way that makes you want to gag every time you open up your website. Maybe like somebody who's wanted to do a rebrand for over a year and can't decide on the exact shade of purple she wants, so she has problems. Yeah, maybe fix that first. I would say. And then from there, yeah, just make sure that you're really prioritizing like great content, your internal linking like crazy. So when people come to your site, it then directs them to relevant extra content. You're trying to fill all those content gaps so that you're saying, hey, you came to read this post, wait, I've got 5 more for you. Like, you should go check out all these ones, because that's such an easy thing for them to do that gets you more page views, more time on page, more pages per session. And I find once people move through your site more and more, they're much more receptive to joining your email list as well, or a Facebook group or any form of community. Like, if you don't want email, Substack, I don't care. Have a way where you're like, hey, please come hang out with me all the time. Like, that's what we want. That's what we need. So yeah, that would be my biggest thing. And then also making sure that you're really thinking about ways to like have some fun with them as well. If you can, consider hosting a free challenge. Be like, hey, we're gonna host a challenge like 2/3 of the way through the high season, so sign up for the challenge. Then you don't have to pre-make anything for this freebie. You can just be like, hey, we're gonna do a 1 week like live finding some cheap flights to Canada thing, or we're gonna do an intro to SEO, like set up your website, buy your domain, or write a blog post step by step or something. Like, anything mini works really, really well. You could just have like, hey, we're gonna do like a live thingamajig for free for an hour, but you gotta pre-sign up. That works too. Like, whatever you wanna do that. Then you can also consider gamifying things. Figure out some fun ways of like, hey, if you hit a certain number of posts on the site, collect a certain number of terms or whatever. Like, treat it like a video game where it's like, oh, you like find little hidden gems through the site. It's a really cool way to like hide little extra freebies, again, that can be really good for email opt-ins, and just like fun to like have people move through your site. But yeah, the main thing I'd prioritize honestly is making sure that like you know what the income source is that you want, or whatever the goal is. You have a firm number for it. You set up time to actually do the things to achieve it, preferably 3 months, like in the first 3 months of this 6-month span. And then you really make sure you're thinking of something that's going to keep these people coming back, so that this isn't just a one-hit wonder, because no one wants to hit 1 million page views for a month and then drop down to 1,000. Like, that's not good. What we want is consistency, and that community element of it, best way for income, best way for recurring users, best way for just like running a business. It's an actual business. So that's been my long-winded answer to the what should you prioritize before the high season in your business. Really the main thing I can say is just like actually know what you want to get out of it and then do the things that are going to get you there. The amount of people who are like, I know I should have, and I'm like, yeah, you do know you should have, and you should have, because now you're SOL and you got to wait another year. And personally, I have impulse control issues, so I don't like waiting a year for anything. I definitely want everything immediately. So take action this year so that you're not waiting around till next year. And even if this year you don't hit the exact goal, you will be closer to it next year because you put in the groundwork this year. So it's just gonna keep like building on itself. That's so important. So take the time. Please, please, please don't let it pass you by. Okay, if you enjoyed this, which I hope you did, I'm gonna pop another video on screen right now, which is how you can use Google Trends to actually like look at trending topics. Ties in very well for finding some seasonality, finding some like new things no one else is talking about yet. It's a free keyword tool that's given to us by Google. It's the best thing I think Google gives us for free, and they give us a lot of stuff that's kind of subpar for free, to be honest. So this one's really amazing. I walk you through exactly how I use it to find trending topics, and it's really that way that I go from like 30,000 to 100,000 page views with a single post in a single month. So check that out, and if you enjoyed this video and you want more chats, not in my dad's kitchen because I'm in the middle of moving and this is what I have, and you can see I'm living in Boxtopia right now, but eventually I'll be back in an office properly, then subscribe, and I'd love to see you around. If you have any questions, ask them below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.